There's so much excitement and energy here in the sanctuary, and we haven't even started service yet. So I invite those of you who are present here and those of you who are joining us online, welcome. Here is our time to settle, to move out of the busy mind and maybe out of the aching heart. Just settle into this present moment. One breath at a time, one conscious inhale, and one conscious exhale. Brings us into this moment. Thank you so much for showing up and being present. It is a gift.
Atmospheres. Thought you'd be pretty foxy, didn't you? Well, the last to go. We'll see the first three go before her.
Jeremy Lieber, everybody. Michelle is with us as well today, and as you can see, so is the Unity in Marin Choir. Woo, we have quite a day ahead of us, quite a service ahead of us. So today we're going to be looking at the spiritual lessons of The Wizard of Oz. And we're going to be looking at it through the lens of the music from Wicked, The Wizard of Oz, and The Wiz. So it should be a fun experience. So good morning, everybody. I'm Reverend Deanne Morency. I am the senior minister here at Unity in Marin. And there's nothing I love more than a good story. And The Wizard of Oz is certainly a good story. So I know we're going to have a lot of fun today. We are here, right? We're here, and we're here to be that activated place of love and light and joy and compassion. We're here to show up with acts of loving kindness to ourselves and to each other. And we in Unity do understand that as we step into that, as we engage in that it allows something to grow, not just within ourselves, but in that connection, that point of connection that we have with everyone else. So if you're watching on the live stream, we're so glad that you're here with us whenever you are here with us. I know it's a long weekend, so I'm sure we're going to have a lot of people checking in a little bit later on because it really is going to be a treat today. We have an opening song that we do to help us center ourselves in this space and in this room and in the consciousness of oneness. So I'm going to invite our community song leaders, the Soul Sisters, to come on up. And they are going to lead us in an opening song. I invite you to allow this song to center you, right? Whatever it took to get here, just be right here, right now.
In this very room, there's quite enough love for one like me. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for one like me. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For spirit, sweet spirit, spirit is in this very room. And in this very room, there's quite enough love for all of us. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all of us. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For spirit, sweet spirit, spirit is in this very room. And in this very room, there's quite enough love for all the world. And in this very room, there's quite enough joy for all the world. And there's quite enough hope and quite enough power to chase away any gloom. For spirit, sweet spirit, spirit is in this very room.
So I'm going to invite us to take a breath into this spaciousness that is this very room. Whatever room it is we're physically in, but we're also Embracing the room of consciousness in all of its limitlessness. So I'm going to invite in this moment for the prayer chaplains to rise. I'm going to invite Kathleen O'D to come forward with the prayer box. And yeah, I guess you can put it right there. And the prayer chaplains are going to encircle the space, and I'm going to invite anyone who also feels as if they're anchoring consciousness for the world to feel free to join them. Oh, how good it is to come to a full stop. Whatever that activity has been in the mind and the body and the heart and the doingness of life. How good it is to take this opportunity to be still. Quieting and opening. The invitation is to welcome the stillness at the very center of our being. Recognizing that one power and that one life and that one joy that truly is all that there is, that is my life, that is the life of each person here, that is the life of all who are watching, all who are on their way. For there truly is only one power, one beingness. Allowing any sense of separation to fall away. Welcoming our true nature, our true name. That is the holy, holy name of oneness, of love, of creativity, of compassion. And as we say yes together, creating a sacred container that can hold everything and anything, for there is nothing stronger than the power of love. I invite you to place into this sacred container anything that you're carrying in your heart, in your mind, situations, people, circumstances. Feel free to speak it into the space right now. So whether it is spoken or unspoken, just know that this container of love is the true beingness that we are all invited to inhabit, to embrace, to engage with, to activate more fully and more powerfully. So whatever it is that we are carrying from our magnificently human experience, I invite you to know with me that where there might be challenges in our health, just know wholeness, every cell, every atom, every form and function of beingness aligned with our true beingness. Where there is the appearance of lack, knowing that abundance is everywhere present. Where there is a desire for more love, more light, more connection, more wholeness, more of the divinity that is ours to name and claim, our spiritual inheritance, that there are no obstacles, that out of the place where there seems to be no way, there is that way that is ours to become, to grow into, to evolve towards. Always more, never less. So we bless this time. We bless all who are in grief at this time. We bless all who are in fear at this time. And we anchor the faith that love is right here, right now. How how grateful I am for this beautiful community. I invite us to open our hearts even more, to extend it around, embracing this entire planet in a wave, a field of that infinite potential. Knowing that somewhere, someone awakens to the possibility of something more. In gratitude for this and so much more, I do give thanks. I release it all, knowing right here, right now, through our agreement, that it is done. And so I invite you to know this with me by saying, and so it is. Amen. Ashe. Thank you, everyone. You may be seated. We're going to open the doors and welcome everyone in the lobby to come on forward. And I'm going to invite the fabulous Gabe Paulson to come on forward.
Thank you. Good morning, Unity. Good morning. My name is Gabe. Thanks to Sharks Hill making that public. Welcome everybody online and welcome everybody here. It's just so wonderful to be back this time of year. The shoulder seasons are my favorite time, and Sunday is my favorite day, so I'm so glad to be here. And I'm really looking forward to the service. There's so much talent here in preparation. I'm going to keep these announcements really brief. So as always, we here are the welcome team. And if you're here for the first time, then just go ahead to the welcome table out in the courtyard, and we have food and we have conversation and really a chance to connect and get to know us. And there's so many ways to connect here at Unity. Most of you have been here so many times, but in case anyone's new or anyone's listening, there are all these different social media outlets, and it's lots of information. Most of what we say will be on one of them. One extra thing is we are on YouTube, and we need 239 more subscribers. It's something that helps us get the word out. It also generates a little bit of income, and I'm actually going to do that right after the service, so please join me and let's get on there. And by the way, I've looked in the past. There's some really wonderful, like around Martin Luther King Day and Channel 4. I mean, Unity's had a lot of different media and a lot of things, so it's really a good connection. Another way to connect is with text, and it's very simple, the number, and you type in welcome. And also, you know, we're concerned nowadays with phishing, attacks, and spam and all that. This is a nice, secure way. Some of you may have gotten Reverend Deanne's email. You know, people are out there trying to pose as ministers, and you know, we know there's a lot going on online, but text is a fairly secure channel, and I get maybe one text a week. It's not spam. It's really good. So if you haven't already, it's worth doing. And then in this age of information, overwhelm, and electronics, good old-fashioned paper and pencil. We have these spiritual connection cards. I have a pen down there. I just bought a pack of pens because it's so old-fashioned, and you get to write down. It's almost like talking to a person with real eye contact. You know, do we still have that? But the spiritual connection cards are a great way to express a concern, to express a joy, and it's something that is, you know, you put it in the box and it's prayed over here, and it's a way for us both practically and in a more, you know, a spiritual way to acknowledge each other and what we care about and how we stand together. This is one of my favorite parts of the service. I think we're a special community because of what we practice. We're a special community because of our confident beliefs. So let's say these together. Our vision. We see a world spiritually awakened and transformed through realizing our divine potential. And our mission? Unity in Marin is a loving community dedicated to spiritual growth, inclusivity, and service. We honor and care for ourselves, each other, and the natural world. And we found these mission and vision statements on our core values. So let's say connectivity, living in an awareness of unity with all, inclusivity, cultivating a safe space to celebrate diversity and value the uniqueness of every authenticity, being true to ourselves, our values, and spirit. Okay, and as always, we have beautiful flowers, and today our flower sponsor is Elizabeth. So, yes, so thank you.
Duplicate today, so Bev Weinkoff as well.
Bev. Thank you, Bev. And of course, happy birthday, Kevin. This is one of the people who's done so much for us. Happy birthday. And today's hospitality sponsor are Bernie and Pamela. And we'll have more to say about them later. And I just want to say it now. I want to congratulate you both on a really special union. And thank you for the sponsorship. And if any of you want, we have Charcel here is our person in charge, and she's got the signups in the courtyard. And a new thing that we're recognizing and sort of elevating is our creative sides with the Artist of the Week, who is Pamela. This is our special day. All right, so Reverend Deanne.
Each week, we like to honor and celebrate the people who have shown up in service, because without people showing up in service, we literally don't exist, right? We are a member-supported organization. And so we have two sort of pieces to who we're honoring. So the first group that we're honoring are people who just went above and beyond in terms of supporting the auction. So Eileen Barker, Arthur Javier, Brandy Jones, and Joel Kaufman. If you're here, can you please stand up so we can give you some love? Thank you. And that's a big thank you for anyone who contributed, but like Arthur, I think, got us like 20 gift certificates to restaurants. He just kept knocking on doors. And the other person I really want to honor is Carolyn Gauthier. I know I shared last week about Rosa and her situation with the fire in San Rafael and her home basically being unlivable at this point. All the windows in her where she stays in the apartment were blown out by the heat of the fire. She is doing much better. She actually is now in a hotel. So she's out of that 6 inches of water. There was so much water damage, and they were still sleeping there. So they're in a hotel now, but Carolyn really lived into the thing that we've been trying to step into, which is, okay, I might have concern about something, but then what do I do about it? Do I just sit in my worry? Do I just sit in my concern? Or do I turn it into an action of love? And Carolyn just swept Rosa into a field of unconditional love and has been walking her through, trying to figure out what services are available to her, taking her shopping, helping her out. It took, how many times did you call Canal Alliance before they called her back? She called a dozen times. She left a dozen messages. And that's how long it took, but they finally called Rosa back, and she's now in a hotel. So can we just give Carolyn some love, please? And there have been so many people who have stepped up. I just want to thank the people who have been donating. There are a couple of people who've made like wonderful donations, and part of me was like, oh, I know, they've been impacted by fire. When you've been impacted by fire, you know what it feels like to be impacted by fire. So you can continue to make donations to the San Rafael Fire Fund. All of that money is for Rosa. It's to figure whatever she's going to need, and we're still assessing. But once she finally finds a place to live, she's going to need beds, and she's going to need bedding, and all the clothes for her whole family were just had to be tossed, right? It's all smoke and water damage and all of that. So she has a 25-year-old daughter, an 18-year-old daughter, a 2-year-old son, no, an 8-year-old grandchild, and an older son who doesn't live in the house. So, there's 4 of them. And it's a lot. So thank you for your continued generosity. Just very, very, very grateful. I actually broke down a couple times this week from the generosity. You know, I talk to other ministers, and they say to me, my biggest challenge is trying to get my community to take care of each other. And I laugh and I say, oh, that's not my problem. Phew, I got others. That's not a problem. So thank you, because we're a large community, and if I had to be the one doing all the pastoral care, whew, that would not be possible. So thank you for the ways that you show up for each other. Yeah, applaud yourselves, right? Because it's huge. It's huge. I've changed the service order a little bit because we want to get, oh yeah, look at that, there we are. We have a very special service today. So we are going to be looking at the spiritual lessons that are inherent in the Wizard of Oz. And we're going to be looking at it through the lens of the way unity holds wisdom. So any scripture, and it doesn't matter what faith tradition it's from, in unity, we anchor it from a metaphysical perspective. We do not believe that scripture is literal. We believe that it is a guiding, it's a roadmap for us to better understand our true divine nature. And whether that roadmap is, you know, our Christian scriptures, which are of course very important in unity, but it can also be Shakespeare. We did West Side Story last year. This year we're going to be looking at The Wizard of Oz. And there's so many, like, and we're looking at the music of The Wiz, Wicked, and The Wizard of Oz. We're going to stick primarily with the through line of The Wizard of Oz. Okay, because there's lots of tangents we could be taking, and we're going to primarily stick with The Wizard of Oz. And I'm very aware that that's not even the narrative of the books. So if you know the books, this is going to have nothing to do with the books. We're looking at the movie. And so when we start off in this, right, so we got The Wiz, we got Wicked, I had this thought this morning. I was like, oh, we started off with like all white, and then we went to all black, and then we went to just a mixture of everything in the retelling of this story. So we start off with Dorothy, right? And Dorothy literally is living in a black and white world in a lot of ways, right? There is no color. She is just feeling in The Wiz, it's because, you know, she's 24 and she's not living out in the world. And we do have a family room if you want, that you can still listen and you don't have to feel uncomfortable. It's okay if the baby cries in here too, just so you know, okay? Like, it's all good. I don't want you to feel self-conscious. In The Wiz, she's 24, but she's still living with her parents, and everybody's teasing her, like, what are you going to do with your life? In the Wizard of Oz, you know, she's got people around her that are they want to take Toto away from her, right? And Toto, metaphysically, is her intuition. It's our intuition. It's the thing. So Toto bites Mrs. Gulch because intuition knows this is not a safe woman, right? This is not a safe place. And so that intuition is literally, they're trying to take that away from her. So the only outlet that Dorothy has in this black and white world is to dream about what might be far away. It's got to be so far away that it is over the rainbow.
I don't even know the first thing about what they're feeling. What am I afraid of? Don't know what I'm made of. Can I go on not knowing? Feelings Something tells me that it's more than I can deal with. Though I never knew the song, some words still catch on, like Carrie and Sherry being together. No matter, can I go on not knowing? Don't know what I'm made of. Why am I afraid of feeling? If I dare to take a chance, would someone lead me? Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a that I heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that I dare to dream really do come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, birds fly over the rainbow. Why, then oh why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow, why, oh why can't I?
So can you feel how it's like a prayer, yes? It's like a prayer. That song is like a prayer. And we have those moments within ourselves when we know that we're asking for something more. We're asking for something else to show up in our life because on some level we intuitively understand that we're ready. Now, Dorothy's journey is our journey. And all of the characters and all that she will interact with, they're also us. So that includes the Tin Man and the Scarecrow. They're all us, yeah? Toto, all us. And so this is a prayer for transformation, right? A prayer for growth, to become something. But you'll notice how Dorothy's looking outside. I mean, literally looking over there, which is how a lot of us understand. We think transformation is going to come from outside of us. But that prayer is still activating something. Now, I don't think that Dorothy expected it to activate a twister, right? And that twister certainly seems horrible when she's in the midst of it all, right? She's trying to get in, she's not feeling safe. But ultimately, the rest of the journey couldn't happen without that piece. And so, anyone out there ever feel like Dorothy? Ever feel like I'm asking for something more, I know I'm ready for something more, and then it feels like a twister descends in your life and nothing is the same? Yeah. So this is an integral part of what this journey is all about. So Dorothy steps out into a world that is definitely not Kansas anymore. Right? Definitely not Kansas anymore. And it is not familiar. It is brand new territory. She is meeting and interacting with all kinds of new things, and it's terrifying, and yet it's wonderful. Can anybody relate to that too? Anything can happen here. Anything can happen. And so when anything can happen, in order for her to move into this next level of consciousness, something had to die away. So the witch represents our false beliefs that we carry, right? The things that are not true, the things that limit us and hold us in place. And so in order for Dorothy to be able to move into this next understanding, something had to die away. And so that creates a sense of release. Has anybody felt that? Right? So this is from The Wiz, and in The Wiz, it's like cool and creepy. Talk about like expectant and wonderful. So all of the munchkins are like trapped in the graffiti in the wall. And as the witch is killed, the false belief literally allows them to come back into motion, allows them to be able to move and sing and be more free and more happy. Anybody ever experienced that? When a false belief finally dies away, right? And see, look, they're singing and dancing, right? And if you haven't seen this movie, you really should. It's pretty fabulous. Now, the release of the creative energy, which is represented by the munchkins, can also create release of even more false beliefs. And that's where the Wicked Witch of the West comes in. So one set of false beliefs has died away, but then all of a sudden, there's another set of false beliefs. Anybody ever run into that? Like you think you're done, you're like, I nailed that. And then wham, all of a sudden you realize there's this other set of false beliefs that are sticking around there. And in that moment, Dorothy does what all of us often do. She contracts. It's too much. Too much has happened. And what does she want to do? Even though this is her prayer, even though she's been asking for it, she wants to go home. Anybody ever feel like that? Right? You step out into a new place and all you want to do is go home. That contraction, it's normal. But it's asking us to go back to something rather than to continue forward.
When I think of home, I think of a place where there's love overflowing. I wish I was home. I wish I was back there with the things I've been knowing. Wind that makes the tall trees bend into leaning. Suddenly the snowflakes that fall have a sprinkling. The scene makes it all clean. Maybe there's a chance for me to go back now that I have some direction. It would sure be nice to be back home where there's love and affection, and just maybe I can convince time to slow up, giving me enough time in my life to grow up. Time be my friend, again.
And so that's starting again. That's starting again. Anybody identify with that feeling? Now, in that release, something else got released too. When the one false belief died away, Dorothy was able to finally access in a completely different way her spiritual inheritance, the ruby slippers, the silver slippers, whatever you want to call them. They are the thing that enables Dorothy to literally stand in her divine identity. But she has no idea what she's wearing. She has no idea what's active in her life. She has no idea. Now, we know that she has access to that, but she is continuing to look outside of herself over and over again, and we do this too. Now, Glinda and Miss One, that's Miss One that's standing there with Dorothy from The Wiz, they understand on some level. So they're the divine parts of ourselves that have greater wisdom, that have a greater understanding of what is possible. They also are that part of ourselves that is always speaking in ways that we can understand. And since Dorothy can only understand that power, that strength, that what it is she is seeking is over there, divine wisdom says, all right, we'll play along with you on this. We'll play along with you on this, and so we're going to send you off to see the wizard, but don't ever give up the shoes. Don't ever give up your actual spiritual inheritance, but go take your journey, because the divinity that we are absolutely knows that at some point we're going to figure something out. So this is what Dorothy needed to hear in order to start her journey. And when I think about the yellow brick road, when you think about what that is in our chakra system, it's our solar plexus, it's about who we are, how we understand ourselves. It's the I am chakra. So Dorothy is following the I am on this journey as she tries to understand who it is. So Dorothy sets off to see the wizard. Dorothy sets out on this journey, and she meets 3 compatriots on her journey. And together, they support each other to grow into a new understanding of themselves. Now, sometimes on our journey, those who are integral to our growth create tension and resistance. Anybody ever feel that? So in those moments, we are being invited to grow in unexpected and yet very vital ways. And so we learn to be able to appreciate gifts and ideas and understandings and perspectives that perhaps we have been cutting ourselves off from.
What is this feeling so sudden and new?
I felt the moment I laid eyes on you.
My pulse is rushing,
My head is reeling.
my face is flushing.
What is this feeling? Fervent as a flame. Does it have a name? Yes. A loathing, unadulterated loathing.
For your face,
Your voice.
your clothing,
Let's just say
I loathe it all.
every little trait, however small, makes my very flesh begin to crawl. With simple utter loathing, there's a strange exhilaration from this total detestation. It's so pure, so strong. Though I do it came on fast. Still I do believe that it can last. And I will be loathing my whole life long.
Now, not all our relationships need to be this complicated, right? So there are, like when there's a place in Wicked where Glinda just has all these people following her. And whatever Glinda says is amazing. And that's not necessarily the most productive for our own transformation and growth, to be surrounded by a bunch of people who just nod and say yes, right? But what we are actually being invited into is making really deep, honest connections with people that we share our vulnerabilities with the people who sort of, we can come together and we can support each other and we can grow together. So the three companions that Dorothy sets off with is the Scarecrow, who wants a brain, the Tin Man, who wants a heart, and the Lion, who wants his courage. And when we think about this metaphysically, right, all of a sudden we start to get into what we would call in Unity the creative process. So the scarecrow and the brain is our mind, the divine idea. And then the heart is, so we have mind, idea, expression. Yes, that's what we often call it, right? So the mind is the biggest idea possible, that's the brain. The heart is the idea that's happening right here that allows us to feel something, that unconditional love. And then the courage is an example of how it shows up in time and in space. And what Dorothy, and what we're all being invited into, is to integrate all three of those things within ourselves, so that we understand that we have a brain, and we have a heart, and we have courage. And the thing is we can see it from outside, but we know that they've always had those things. Again, looking out there for something that has always been available and has always been accessible. So Dorothy's journey, as well as our own, is to integrate and to access all these aspects that are part of her divine identity.
I could while away the hours, conferring with the flowers, consulting with the rain. And in my head I'd be scratching while my thoughts were busy hatching, if I only had a brain. I'd unravel every riddle for any individual in trouble or in pain. With the thoughts I'd be thinking I could be another Lincoln if I only had a brain. Oh, I could tell you why the ocean's near the shore. I could think of things I never thought before, and then I'd sit and think some more. I would not be just a nothing, my head a full of stuffing, my heart I would dance and be merry, life would be a thing and dairy if I only had a brain.
Oh, I'm enjoying this so much. So it's about the integration, it's about the recognition that you even have a brain, or you have a heart, or you have courage, or you have the capacity to love. It's being able to acknowledge what our innate capacities are. Again, our spiritual inheritance. We have these powers, these capacities. And so as we begin to go on this journey of trying to know ourselves better, as Dorothy from The Wiz sang right at the very beginning, who am I? You know, who am I? As we step out on this journey, that new integration and that new expansion, it calls us to experience new things. You've all felt this, yes? You get new energy, you wanna go new places, you wanna try something different. And all of that energy, even if we are focused on something that's outside of ourselves, it's all part of the journey that we have towards claiming our divine identity. And so, our journey continues to the Emerald City to meet the wizard.
One short day. We got this. When I meet the wizard, once I prove my worth. When I meet the wizard, what I've waited for since all his wizard wisdom. By my looks, he won't be blinded. Do you think the wizard is dumb? Or like Munchkin, so small-minded? No! He'll say to me, I see who you truly are. A girl on whom I can rely. And that's how we'll begin, the wizard and I.
So, this is a journey right to the center of our own heart, right? Right to our own home, the home that is the capital H home, that awareness of our true identity. And there's this expectancy in whatever version you're watching. There's this expectancy as they enter into the presence of the wizard that the answer will be given, that everything is gonna be okay. And yet, when they actually step in to meet the wizard, this is what they get to experience, right? Talking heads, not yet, not yet, not yet, not yet. Not yet, not yet, not yet. This is what they get to see, right? Scary talking heads, which I think is very interesting symbolically, right? The Wizard of Oz, we have a talking head. In Wicked, we have a talking head. In The Wiz, we have a talking head. It's like there's no connection to the heart. There's no connection to the body. There's no connection to anything else. It's just about the ideas. And look, we all create great ideas, don't we? We do. We generate fabulous ideas. But when they're disconnected from the truth of who we are as a divine being, they just become ideas. They're not actually what is calling us forward. So what began as excitement transforms into fear for what is next. And Dorothy must face the witch, her false beliefs about herself. And when we're looking outside ourselves, it means we don't have faith in ourselves. So the fear grows and grows and grows.
Lions and bears, oh my! Lions and tigers and bears, oh my! Lions and tigers and bears, oh my! Lions and tigers and bears, oh my!
What do you have faith in? Do you have faith in the fear? Do you have faith in the thing that isn't actually your divine identity? Or do you have faith in that which you already are? So at the beginning of Dorothy's journey, there was this sense that she is placing all of her faith in the wizard. She's placing all of her faith in her companions. And yet, there is something else that has been happening from the very beginning of Dorothy's journey. That she has been also placing her faith in this intuitive, instinctive desire to show up in loving kindness, to help the scarecrow, and she creates an ally, to support the Tin Man, and she creates another ally, to stand up to the lion when he's threatening Toto, and yet again, she creates another ally. And then there is this place where the witch comes and catches them and, takes them away. This is probably the scariest part of this entire movie. My brother had nightmares for like 3 years about flying monkeys, right? Scary, scary, scary flying monkeys, right? And so the Wicked Witch of the West has Toto. So our false beliefs will trap our intuition. Our false beliefs about what we think is true will take our intuition and try to turn it on itself. And Dorothy, again, the higher self is in a place of love and open-heartedness, says, take the shoes. I want my intuition. I want my Toto. I want, don't hurt. Don't cause pain. She's willing to surrender up her spiritual inheritance. She's not attached. Can you feel the truth of that? And so she says, take them. But the thing is that nothing shifts in consciousness through brute force. We cannot muscle our way into a different level of consciousness. We can't just try to take something and then we've up-leveled ourselves, right? So it doesn't work because you can't force a shift in consciousness. Showing up in loving kindness means that we place our faith in oneness, in our own wholeness, in everyone else's wholeness. And when we do that, we can actually transcend the false beliefs that the witch symbolizes. So let's watch this final moment for the Wicked Witch of the West.
A pocket full of spheres. Thought you'd be pretty foxy, didn't you? Well, the last to go. We'll see the first 3 go before her. And your mangy little dog, too. How about a little fire, Scarecrow? You cursed brat! Look what you've done! I'm melting! Melting! Oh, what a world! What a world! Who would have thought a good little girl like you could destroy my beautiful wickedness? Ah, look out! Look out! I'm going!
And that really is how our false beliefs die, right? They go kicking and screaming and moaning and groaning until the very end, right? Those false beliefs that need to fall away. So when Dorothy melts the witch, what she's melting is her false sense of separation. She's melting those false beliefs that have her believing things about herself and everyone else that aren't actually true. And that integration arose because of her love and care. So she wasn't trying to melt the witch, right? She wasn't trying to do anything to the witch. Her actions were motivated by her wanting to take care of the Scarecrow. Loving action. And out of that love, it being that love, acting as that love, the false beliefs begin to fall away because they can't survive in the face of love. I said it in my opening prayer. There are no obstacles to love, right? No obstacles to love. And so it is her compassion that has led her to liberation. And the broom that she gets is a symbol of freedom, of flying, of flight, of movement. And yet, even when discovering her own power and her own capacity, she is still abdicating all of that divine power to the power of the wizard.
My future is unlimited, and I've just had a vision almost like a prophecy. I know it sounds truly crazy, and true the vision's hazy, but I swear someday there'll be a celebration throughout Oz that's all to do with me. And I'll stand there with the wizard, feeling things I've never felt. And though I'd never show it, I'd be so happy I could melt. so it will be for the rest of my life, and I'll want nothing more till I die, held in such high esteem. When people see me, they will scream for half of Oz's favorite team, the Wizard and I.
So Dorothy goes back to the wizard, lays her power in front of the wizard. And Toto, that intuition, runs around and pulls aside the curtain and reveals the truth that the wizard is not some all-powerful creature. The wizard is a divine human just like Dorothy, just like you. And so that place, that space in there is like questions like, oh, but wait, but what? And yet, what does Dorothy continue to do? She still puts her faith in the wizard as having the answer. His balloon will get me home. The balloon will be the answer. It's like we almost become addicted or attached to our own powerlessness, to our own sense of helplessness. And even when we have been having a lived experience of something greater, we still keep giving it away. Now, once again, Toto is the one who triggers Dorothy getting out of the balloon, and the balloon flies off, and Dorothy is left. Now what? She's all alone. It's just her. There's no one else to give it away to. And it's in that moment that Dorothy finally, truly taps into her true nature. That she hears her inner wisdom and knows that she can believe in herself.
If you believe within your heart, you'll know that no one can change the path that you must go. Believe what you feel and know you're right, because that night you'll come around when you'll say it's yours.
Believe that you can go on. Believe you can float on air. Then click your heels 3 times. If you believe, then you'll be there.
Believe in yourself right from the start. Believe in the magic right there in your heart. Believe all these things, not because I told you to.
If you believe in yourself, if you believe
so Dorothy now kind of has a new understanding, right? She actually knows that it's within herself. She actually knows what it is that she doesn't know the fullness of what she's capable of, because we're infinite beings. But she has an understanding now of how she is being called to stand in her spiritual inheritance. And what happens as we continue to grow and evolve is that we know that it's time for us to move forward. We're going to move forward with power. We're going to move forward with a sense of self-awareness. But sometimes that means leaving those we love.
I've heard it said that people come into our lives for a reason, bringing something we must learn, and we are led to those who help us most to grow if we let them, and we help them in return. Well, I don't know if I believe that's true, but I know I'm who I am today because I knew you.
Like a comet pulled from orbit as it passes the sun, like a stream that meets a boulder halfway through the wood. Who can say if I've been changed for the better? But because I knew you,
Because I knew you,
because I knew you, I have been changed for
And so Dorothy, like us, has access to new things. She has access to new skills and gifts and talents and tools and an understanding. And she is able to hear the divine wisdom. The fabulous Lena Horne. Who wouldn't want to listen to Lena Horne? Right? The Lena Horne of our beingness. I want to listen to the Lena Horne of my beingness. Right? Sharing and understanding that there is a way for us to be able to move forward. And so, the Wiz sort of sums it up really beautifully. So the Wiz, the wizard, in the Wiz comes up to Dorothy at the end and says, "Do you have something for me?" And her answer is, because everything that the Scarecrow has realized and the Tin Man has realized and the Lion has realized, right? The Wiz wants some of that now too. And she says, they've had what they've been searching for all along. I don't know what's in you. You'll have to find that out for yourself. But I do know one thing. You'll never find it in the safety of this room. I tried that all my life. It doesn't work. There's a whole world out there, and you have to begin by letting people see who you really are. And that's really it, right? I mean, that's the lesson that we're all being invited into, to allow ourselves to be who we truly are. And so Dorothy, from this awareness, is able to click her heels together 3 times. And everybody say it with me. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. There's no place like home. And of course, we know that she's been home the entire time. She just didn't know that she was home, right? So where does that leave us, right? It leaves us with this understanding that no matter what seems intractable, no matter what seems so overwhelming, no matter what seems to be such an obstacle in our lives, anybody feel like they're running into something? We are all being invited to take the journey that Dorothy took and to understand who we actually are, expand our understanding, kill off those witches inside of us that are whispering all those false beliefs. I'm gonna get you, my pretty, and your little dog too. Right? I'm gonna get your intuition. I'm gonna clamp you down. We're gonna let all of those go. Because when we do stand in our true divine self, when we allow ourselves to have a journey of transformation, we're surrendering up our small ideas and we're stepping into our divine capacities. And that is when we can fly free, defying gravity.
Something has changed within me. Something is not the same. I'm through with playing by the rules of someone else's game. Too late for second guessing. Too late to go back to sleep. It's time to trust my instincts. Close my eyes and leave. It's time to try defying gravity. I think I'll try defying gravity. Kiss me goodbye. I'm defying gravity. You won't bring me down. I'm through with accepting limits, 'cause someone says they're so. Some things I cannot change, but till I try, I'll never know. Too long I've been afraid of losing love that I guess I lost. Well, if that's love, it comes at much too high a cost. I'd sooner die defying gravity. I think I'll try defying gravity. Kiss me goodbye. I'm defying gravity, and you won't bring me down. So if you can't find me, look to the western sky. As someone told me lately, everyone deserves the chance to fly. I'm defying gravity. Kiss me goodbye. I'm defying gravity. You won't bring me down. And nobody in all of Oz, no wizard that there whiz or was, is ever gonna bring me down. Come on, Toto! Bring me down. Gracie! Gracie, come! Gracie, come! Bring me
Can we also give it up for Jeremy and Michelle? Woo! Can we also give it up for Cindy Acker? And one more time, our fabulous choir. Woo. That was fun, yeah? I really just want to say, these things come into my brain and my heart, and I sort of spit. You should have seen what I sent Cindy as like, here's my thoughts. And she somehow took my little random one-liners. I'm going to talk about friendship. I'm going to talk about needing to have deep friendships, right? She took all of that in my list of songs that I thought would work, and she turned it into that.
Wow. No, that was amazing. Thank you, Cindy and Reverend Deanne. And yeah, thank you, choir, you guys, all of you, and soloists, and Jeremy and Michelle, and definitely better than my high school production. And there's a great saying in Ireland, I'd like to say, when Toto came up, that beat the band. Drop the mic right there. But I also, Reverend Deanne, I want to thank you, and both Cindy and Reverend Deanne. I feel like when I came to Unity 10 years ago, I was looking for a label, and I think it was Reverend Bill or someone, they hired someone, and they said, oh yeah, Unity Marin are cultural creatives. and you both beat the band, and you're both great administrators, leaders, so smart, and all this creativity, and you guys too. This is really wonderful. So thanks again. And I wanted to say, what a great message for Marin, and what a great message for the world. How many of us are chasing dreams, and at what cost? So it's really a fun thing up here, but plenty to think about. And as one more acknowledgement to Reverend D, and I love that this was fun, but there's a lot of follow-up. And one of the things is the discussion circle. So, built into the sense that we can laugh a little bit and have some fun, there's a lot going on in the world and a lot that's really difficult to read in the papers. So join us in the discussion circle, and we can connect and reflect, and it's really been going strong. I think we had 15 people, and let's just keep it going. So it's a great chance to take the continuity of it and move forward. And with that being said, I think Nancy Foster is going to tell us a little bit about the gala, and I'm going to leave this up.
Well, this is the big day. The auction goes live. In fact, it went live at midnight tonight. Yeah. And so it is live right now. So I invite you all to go on and be sure you're registered to bid and to start to bid. And I have to say, there is a talk about creativity. There is so much creativity in this community. And we have over 82 items that are mostly from our community. And I just want to give you a little challenge. 3 of the creative people in this choir have donations on the auction, and they were all soloists, and you saw their names, so go find them. And let's see, and the bid, what? I'll get there. Slow down. I don't need prompting. And the bids start anywhere from $25 to $3,000. So there's find your space and bid. Please commit to bid at least on one thing, and bid on more than one if you can, and bid multiple times, because people are going to overbid you. So just keep your eye on it. And so the other thing is, this is the last day to get early bird tickets for the Gallelujah. You can still buy tickets after today. They'll just cost a little bit more. Oh, they'll just cost a little bit more. Thank you. So go to the Church Center or the Unity and Marin website. They're the same thing, actually. And for help, come out for Lucille and I will be out at the table. Come and look at the items. We'll help you get on and either buy your ticket and select your meal or get registered to bid. And bring your phone and your credit card if you want to get help, okay? So that's all for now.
Thank you, Nancy. Yeah, and what a great opportunity. There's a lot of fun here, and it's, you know, a good way to give and receive. And that's the time of our service now where we, you know, come together as a community. And I think that, you know, Reverend Deanne and Carolyn were talking about the fire in San Rafael. And I'm personally so proud of this community for standing there. And this is really a 60-year tradition. There's been a portfolio of giving here. The Marin Community Foundation knows about it. We all know about it. You know, it's by giving that we really also receive. And it's some of the gifts we were talking about in the talk earlier, this intuition and this sense to know that everything you have is with you that comes through this ritual and through this important practice. So one other thing I wanted to say is we had a QR code up there, and you know, as with the email spams, just know that all the QR codes are generated here and they can be trusted. You know, there are some things going on, but if you do click it, if you're online, these are something, you know, that we generate them and they don't take you to some other site. So lots of ways to give. We have the Church Center app, as Nancy just mentioned, and as I said, the QR codes are safe for those of you live streaming, and then there's the good old-fashioned paper envelope check, however you want to do that, and you can mail it. And the spiritual connection card we brought up earlier, that's another way to give. So can we say together our offering from affirmation? I am the power of abundance, giving and receiving gracefully. Okay. Thank you, choir. I love it. I love it. So just a few more things till we get out of here. And as I mentioned, we have the discussion circle today. What a great talk. And another really apropos follow-up is the book study that's starting September 7th. That's next Sunday. Trust yourself. What a really nice way to connect everything we heard today. And for me, I've been carrying this question for years: trust what and trust how? And I think that's something that this will dive into deeply. And we have the author actually as the speaker, so that'll be a great thing next Sunday, September 7th. So sign up, get involved, host, whatever you can do. It's really a great learning experience. One other thing coming up is the Unity World Day of Prayer. And you know, whenever I see this, I remember we had tables here, we have a labyrinth, it's a 24-hour overnight thing. You know, think about it. The world is just singing in joy, and the world is just crying in pain. And what a time to acknowledge that, the fact that there's so much agony and so much ecstasy in this globe that we live in. So a great opportunity to come here, to come together, to spread that energy, that love, that wisdom that we have here, and also to celebrate yourself as a part of this journey we live. So,
the Social Justice Choir is going to be rehearsing today at noon. So if you want to get your joy on and be an active participant in making the pain of this world a little bit lighter, come and sing with the Social Justice Choir today.
Amen. Woo! All right. And speaking of the great doctors and medicine of the world, would the Unity and Marin chaplains please stand? These are our volunteers, dedicated, and many of them served here for decades. And if you have a concern, if you have a prayer besides that paper and pencil card, please tap one of them on the shoulder. Everything is held in confidence, and it's really a wonderful way to connect. Thank you for your service, chaplains. And finally, can we have the children come in?
And can you imagine what our journey would be like if we heard this blessing we say for the children when we were their age? All right, come on up. Welcome. We're so glad to have you here. So we're going to extend our hands and our hearts. We're going to know it for the youth that are here. We're going to know it for the youth of the world. And we're going to know it for the youth that we are inside of ourselves as well. And with love and an open heart, we say, you are the perfect expression of divine light. We love you exactly the way you are. And so it is. And our prayer for protection, the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is. And so it is. Jeremy thought he was done. Happy Sunday, everybody.